Welcome back to the morning show on XL7 TV. It's time for This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zadora. How are you, sir?
I'm great.
Don't you love it?
I do. Never a dull moment in this place.
Heck no.
People only knew.
If they behind the scenes.
That's right. That's right. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
That's right. Pay no attention in front of the camera or the one behind it.
That's right. That's right.
How's things this week?
A little cold, but going forward. Linda's got a closing today at 10 and another one on Tuesday. But now it showed some properties on Wednesday, and we waited till a little bit warmer anyway.
Wednesday wasn't too bad.
Yeah, right.
We
So
actually hit in the 40s. And
Yeah, they wanted to go out on Monday, and I was like, no. No. Nobody wants to. Believe me, as bad as people want to sell stuff, they don't want to sell it that bad. They really don't want you to traipse it through.
Yeah.
So we showing, so things are still going forward. Not at the rate that we'd probably like, that all of us would probably like, the whole area would probably like, but it's still, you keep going forward.
Speaking of rates, did you get a weekly update from your friends?
I
at
did it.
Nassau Home Mortgage?
We're down around 6.5. I read an article this morning about 6.5 for a 30-year fixed, and that's a pretty fair number. And then
So
some
if
of the VA stuff and some of the FHA stuff is down in the 5s.
If the 30 is at 6.5, then the 15 should be somewhere in the 5s right now, right?
15 was in low 6s.
Okay. Getting close.
And it kind of, it's kind of a moving target every day, but that's about where we are. So to be at that rate and people looking to buy, the mortgage applications were up over 10% this week nationwide.
Okay.
So that's a pretty big jump. But when you look at it, it's up from last week to this. That's a big jump. But year over year, it's still down about 20%. Because there aren't as many people that are looking to buy still with these rates, waiting to see what's going to happen. And if they think they're going to time the rates, it's just, we had Chris last week, and we talk about it all the time. Don't try to time the rate. Find a house that you like, buy it, get into it, and then worry about refinancing. Refi numbers were up quite a bit too.
Because here's
this
the
week.
deal. If you can afford it with the rates being a little bit higher and your payments are something you can manage, you can stay there a little bit longer and deal with that. And then when the rates come down, it's just like Christmas in July.
Yeah, and you're building an equity because the prices are continuing to rise. Rent, you're not getting anything on it, but having a mortgage is like a forced savings account. People get into taking their. We're coming up into tax season, and people, I'm going to get $1,000 or $2,000. That was your money to begin with. You're not getting anything. It's a forced savings plan, and people use that money. They're going to take a trip to Disneyland. They're going to do this. They're going to do that, and that's fine. You're doing the same thing by buying a house. By buying that house, you're in a forced savings plan that you've got a roof over your head. You don't have to worry about the landlord saying, I don't like that color on the wall, change it. You don't have to worry about him saying, you can't have a macaw, you can't have, a goldfish, whatever the case may be. And rents are pretty expensive.
I had a lady call me. She in her 50s, lives with herself, 2 little kids, not too little, mid-teens. Call me up and say, hey, do you shovel driveways? And I said, no, I don't. She said, well, my landlord called and told me I had until noon tomorrow to get my sidewalks and driveways shoveled.
Yeah.
I thought, man, that's really pushing it.
Yeah.
But I can understand the landlord side, because if that tenant doesn't have renter's insurance or any kind of protection, general liability protection, then the landlord's responsible.
Yeah, and the landlord's probably responsible in that anyway. It's still his property. Generally, renter's insurance is for what's inside the building.
But you can get a general liability policy. That
But most people
don't. But they don't
even think about that.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, wait a minute, I'm a renter. Why am I out here shoveling snow? That's what I'm paying him for.
Yeah.
So,
Catch-22.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But the importance of having something that's yours, just changes people's whole lives, of having that first home, having that a little responsibility, obviously, but just that feeling of accomplishment that this is ours. you know, and we can start to lay down roots here, and you build equity on it, and you have that home for 4 or 5 years, and then you fix it up a little bit, you sell it, you make some money on it, you buy another one. That's the way the American dream has always worked, and it's been pretty successful. I mean, there's some generational views of how that should be now, and some of the different generations with letters behind them instead of just being the generation behind us. They have a different view, but that's because of this. That's because of people, you know, taking opinions from other people that they probably
your
shouldn't.
view of life changes a lot when you look out the picture window in your living room versus the side window in your mom's basement.
You know, dramatically. Dramatically. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Okay, I had a person ask me last week.
Yeah.
In fact, after the show that we did with Chris Nassari,
Uh-huh.
asked me to ask you to define the difference between a buyer's agent and a seller's agent, because you guys are certified one or the other.
Yeah,
or both.
yes, yeah. Well, we do both. We do, buyer's agents represent buyers. Seller agents represent the sellers. That's who has the company that has listed the property. So if you want to put your home on the market, you call Linda and I, we come out, we take a look, how it's worth this much money, we get everything done. Century 21 owns all the listings that we do. Everybody who works for Century 21 works for Jewel. Jewel is the principal broker, and for no matter whether it's Joey Pegler or Doty,
broker's the broker.
whatever, they're the broker. They're the ones that own all the listings. They're the ones that own the MLS. That's on the selling agent. Buyer's agents, somebody gives us a call, they find retiredarkansas.net. They're going through there, they're looking at the listings, they go, oh, God, we really like this house, we're coming down in 2 weeks, can we see it? We represent them as their buyer's agent, and we have their best interest at heart. Now, Arkansas is a dual agency state, so they call on one of our listings. Generally, what we'll do is have one of us. Linda may take the list side. Darlene, we may tell Darlene, we got a guy coming in who's looking at this property, or Sam, or April, me, Reese, whatever the case may be, and to represent so that there's a physical presence separating between the two. And we've had no trouble doing that at all. We've helped a lot more people being together and knowing what's going on than sometimes dealing with other agencies who, especially newer agents, that just don't know what's going on. And that's what we do. We're certified buyer's agents. That's a designation from the National Association of Realtors. We're talking about going to get the other one this year, maybe, because it seems like every year and a half, COVID kind of goofed things up a little bit. We go out, let's go to school for a couple of days and do that. The problem has been finding schools that are open. There's a lot of this online stuff, and I'm old. I want to sit there. I want to hear other people's opinion. I want to hear other people's opinion. And
You want to be able to go, hey, I got a question.
I didn't even think about that. But no, it's more important the ones that the guy 3 rows over asked. And you go, duh. Those are the important things. You don't get that on Zoom calls. But that's the way of the future. So we'll have to. I won't have to deal with it much longer. Sooner or later, it's going to be okay. But that's what we try to do. We try to keep our skills sharp. We try to keep learning new things. That's something we've always done.
Let's look at some numbers and see what happened in our area for the last week.
This week in real estate. Come back here, you. Really? There we go. This week in real estate, there were 35 new listings came on the market, 6 commercial properties, 19 parcels of land, 10 homes came on the market. They ranged in price from $85,000 to $875,000. There were 16 sales, 2 commercial properties, 5 parcels of land, 9 homes sold. They ranged in price from $65,000 to $425,000. Now, weather in here and coming out of the holiday, so we don't expect a lot. 4 residential properties expired. 19 residential properties had price changes, and there's 38 pending waiting to close. Currently, we're down to 298 homes. We had been at 317, I think it was last week. So of these homes that sold, they got sucked out of that number there of homes being available. And some people pull their homes off just kind of the beginning of the year, we'll wait till spring.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when that mattered going into spring. Now the market's open year round. Like you
Right.
say, we were out showing stuff the other day. I mean, people are down looking. People are traveling. Year to date, so far this year, there's been 24 homes have sold for $3.9 million. The average sale price this year is $262 with 99 days on market. Last year, in the same frame, there had been 31 homes that sold with an average sale price of $181,000, 88 days on market. And I know that's a very, very small snapshot, but when you look at 23 and then you go back to 22, and we were worried last year because the number had fallen quite a bit. Well, last year was 31 sales, and this year it's 24. So it's continuing to shrink. The number of buyers are becoming, I don't want to say gun shy, but just they're not as apt to go forward. We're having things that are blowing up. People are having the inspections done, and they're just asking for totally unreasonable demands to go through with the deal. We're not in a buyer's market. We're still here. We're still in a seller's market. Even though we have more homes, the seller's still pretty much in the driver's seat. That's, we'll see how that goes going forward. But it's just a matter of the buyers are they're gun shy. It's an expensive proposition right now. And as we get into the presidential season, that generally has an effect as well. I mean, you could look at that every 4 years. It just is because the TV ads and all the other
The roller
nonsense.
coaster of life.
Yes, sir.
What's going on with the Z Team community? You guys are very active in the community. What's going on with some of the stuff you're doing?
We are. I'm the chairman of the Republican Party in Marion County. I've got a district meeting coming up with them. We're busy with. It's like there's always something going on. Like I said, we're trying to get some classes done. The kids are all going to go. The kids, I shouldn't call them that. It's not a derogatory thing, but they're all kids to me. Sam, Darlene, Reese, and April are going to get their buyer's representative. I think that's important that with some of the lawsuits and all this other stuff that's going on, that everybody's really clear as far as what it is that this is going to entail and what services are offered because, with the things that are going to happen. I don't think anything's going to happen for a few more years by the time they get done with some of these suits. Lawyers, as we know, can be a little hungry sometimes and take advantage. They go, oh, there's a door open, knock their way in.
The longer it takes, the more they make.
Exactly. And they get into these class action things, and they're the ones who make all the money, and the people that thought, so they're going to get a check for
38 cents.
Yeah. And they'll break, good quality companies will be broke because they just won't be able to afford it. That's a whole nother deal. But we're just, we keep going forward. Jason's got his pilot's license for the drone,
Hey?
and he's doing a great job with that. So we've been out playing with it and practicing, and he's, that's a little youth like that is a good
Good boost.
injection.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
good
boost.
injection.
How do they get you?
Get me by calling Linda. She's at 870-405-0793. And the website's retiredtoarkansas.net. The whole MLS is on there. The cameras are on there. There's a bunch of stuff on there. A bunch of buyers' tips include, sellers' tips include, things that we can do to help you be successful, whether you're buying or selling. This is what we do all day, every day. I told a story about New Year's Eve where she put 2 houses under contract on New Year's Eve. So we just keep moving forward, but give her a call, 870-405-0793.
And that'll wrap it up. This has been This Week in Real Estate with Bob Zadora. We'll be back Friday Sports in just a moment.